You are tuned in to Solar Alignment podcast with BatiYah Yisrael, where we help you align your soul to the light. Welcome. You know, it seems like the only time that the human being does not accept the actual definition of the word image is when it's talking about God. When it's talking about anything else, the human being knows what an image is, right? If I'm talking about an artist, right, and I say, oh, this artist created an image of this person or that thing, automatically the human being pictures in his own mind, oh yeah, this artist made an actual duplication of an original, right? Except for when we're talking about God. You are made in the image and likeness of God. Now, maybe it's the part where we say made in the. If the Bible were to say, and maybe it does in the actual translation, we would have to go into that. But if it were to say, you are an image and likeness of God, maybe that would make it more simple, more easy to understand the actual definition of what it is saying. The human being and everything else in the visible part of the universe, which is the manifested body of God, is God expressed as that form. It is an image or a copy of source. It is not just your personality, your characteristics that are in the image and likeness of God. That is not the limitation of where you are in image and likeness of God. You are a literal copy, a reflection through light of the mind and imagination of Source. Source has duplicated through carbon copies of its own self. You can even say shined a light on aspects of his own body. It's the same thing. This is how you get into the fact that things that exist in so-called physical reality are not actually solid as they appear. This is how you get into that, because once you really know what's going on, you know that you are literally an actual picture, though you experience yourself as 3D and in motion. I mean, think about it. If you're an actual picture of God, a copy of God, reflecting through light and all that good stuff, then you would be dynamic. It's not like you're going to be a flat piece of paper. Oh, I'm a copy. I'm just a flat piece of paper. No, you're a copy of all that exists, of a piece of that. So you're going to move, you're going to, appear to, breathe and all that, right? Have the breath of life. The breath of life is the will of God for you to live, to exist. That's what it is. That's the breath of life. It's the animation of God's imagination. That is the breath of life. Just the same way as the characters in your dream move around, don't they? Don't they move around? Don't they appear to talk and fly and run? I don't know. They might fight. They might cry. They might make, wonderful, sweet love. Who knows? Whatever. All kinds of things happen in your dream, right? Don't they? You got animals in your dream. You have an environment. But it's all from your own imagination, isn't it? And all the characters in your dream are you, aren't they? But they are you, but they're not you, right? They're an extension of you, of your mind. They are pictures and reflections of your processing of your day. Sometimes it's even, you're doing actual things in the spiritual world with others, aren't you? That's when you get into astral travel and things like that. So there's a lot going on in your dreams the same way there's a lot going on in God's dreams, which is this reality that we call life. This is God's dream. This is God's dream. And you and I are the characters. You and I are the stars. And yes, when you get into the avatar of God, when you get into Jesus, right, which a lot of people are waiting for. Some people are not. Some people don't think that Jesus exists. Well, it's the same way that you dream a character into your dream, don't you? Now, think about your dreams. Again, we're a microcosm of God, right? As above, so below. As within, so without. Okay? We're doing what God is doing. We're doing with our dreams what God is doing with us, with all reality and existence, right? That we perceive as, living. So in your dream, you dream yourself into the dream, right? Your character is the star. That would be Jesus to God, right? That's the character of God dreaming its own self into this dream that we call life. That's, Yeshua, right? Yah shall save, right? The being that is what I like to call, what comes to me in my downloads, if you will, the consciousness of source, right? Manifested. Also, I like to characterize Jesus as the pineal gland. It's like God's pineal gland, right? So if you imagine that we are, everything in existence is a cell, a living cell inside of God's body. Jesus would be the pineal gland, the director, if you will. The part of source that is connected to the infinite consciousness of the being. But all the other characters are also you as well, right? All the other characters would also be God as well. But Jesus would be the one who is awakened and who would also help to awake humanity. But this download or message is just basically to remind you and to emphasize that you are a literal image of God, a literal likeness of God. The same way when you stand in front of a mirror and you see your image and your likeness. You don't just see your personality when you look into a mirror, do you? You see your image. You see what you look like. Your whole body, right? You don't necessarily see your spirit, though. You see your physical, what we call physical image. We are that of God, of source. Our physical image that appears human is the manifestation, picturing, sometimes I say out picturing, shining through light, the mind of God or source. And so that's the message. So when the next time you read in the Bible that humankind was made in the image and likeness of God, think of it as it actually says. This is one of the places in our scriptures, where the translation I feel was correct, was very accurate. And we can always go into the Hebrew and things like that to get more understanding of it. You are a literal carbon copy of a very important aspect of God. So remember that the next time you walk to a mirror. That not only, as a friend of mine who has a I Am God t-shirt brand, if you will, has on one of her shirts when she says, when I look in the mirror, I see God, right? So not only do you see God when you look in the mirror, it's also the reverse. And I think that is, in some ways, maybe even more important or more clear, and is that God is looking in the mirror when he looks at us. And in order for God to look at us, it had to, quote, create us through its own light, through its own imagination. Light is the will of God, the imagination of God. The will of God would be your breath, and light would be the imagination of God for you to exist and to be here. And there's a whole production that happens after that to actually get you here, to get us here. Shining light, the idea of you through the sun, which is a portal. It's always connected to carbon. There's a lot of configuration that turns an idea or imagination of source into what appears to be a moving 3D image that experiences itself as physical and separate from others, but it's not. We all emanate from the same source, the same idea, which is the mind of God, willing us to be here in existence. That is your life. The will of God is the length of your life. You can, of course, co-create with that, right? Depending on how you take care of yourself. But, however long the Creator wills it and wants your character to be alive, quote, you will be here in this dream. And when it's time for the Creator to wake up from that dream of you, then you will go back home to where you came from. And more than likely, come back again to some part of the universe. Very likely even, Earth. Then you would be inserted into another dream. Just like your characters are recycled in your dreams every night. Right? Generally speaking. Whether you remember the dreams or not. So, I just wanted to say that. Also, I will just say that this is the part of God's dream where the Creator, the source, is intending on changing the dream, if you will. A little lucid dreaming. How about that? Where the Creator is intending on affecting the dream, bringing, quote, Jesus back. The avatar, the awakened avatar who knows who it is. The avatar of God is a woman in this lifetime. So it's not a male avatar that you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for a female avatar as Jesus in this lifetime, 2024. But we can get into that at another time. This is the time where the Creator is affecting the dream because he, right? When you say the word she, you're including the he anyway. The Creator seeks to experience a certain thing in life, right? Many of the things that actually happened in the Bible that were pre-written, right? We understand that the Bible is not the original document of, spirituality, right? And it builds upon the knowledge of other books that were around years prior to its conception or compilation. So we can also get into that. But some of the things that exist in the Bible, the Creator seeks to experience at this time. Oneness, unification, we can focus on Jeremiah 31:31. The Creator said, "Gone are the days where you will say to each other, know the Lord, for all will know me, from the least to the greatest." So there's that. All will know me, right? That means you will experience yourself and your higher self and the Creator. You will really, that's what it means, is that you're going to experience God as yourself. That's what it means. That's what it means. We're going to go even beyond religion. But it's not to say that religion is not necessary or even desirable to the creator or to the enlightened being. It is. Ceremony, pomp and circumstance, if you will, is a holy thing, and the creator does enjoy that. And so we will have that, and we will have many of the things reinstated that are in the Bible. This is what I feel. These are my downloads, and of course this is what the Bible says, but there are some people who don't believe in the Bible. But these are my downloads, that the creator is seeking to experience these things now, right? So we're going to have the acknowledgement of who the chosen people of God are. And again, when you get into chosen people of God, it's chosen to be a light to the nations. You can get into a little bit more distinctions. Maybe that's a different download, but it's not chosen to be better than somebody. It's not saying that. Chosen to be a light to the nations. To show the nations how to serve the Most High, right? Our higher self. So we will have those things, the rebuilding of David's temple, reestablishing of the house of David. So if it's the will of the Most High, and other things, and the unification of, many religions really, and peoples that were once divided. So we, the images of Source, must remember who we are and what we are, come together as one body of God. One body of God. That's what we are. That's what the entire manifested universe is. And I, for one, am glad you're here. Source is glad that you are here, a part of his own body. And we're very excited for the awakening. Thank you for listening. This is BatiYah Yisrael. Peace and love.